to Corinthians. In fact, in 1894 and 1895, they played consecutive games where Corinthians provided the entire England 11. But the thing is, the players refused to play professional football. They didn't believe in it. They wanted to spread the values of sportsmanship, competition, and played for the love of the game. It also helped that most of the players were Oxbridge graduates who didn't need the money. But instead of entering the league and cup competitions, they played exhibition football and toured the world, bringing the beautiful game with them. And it was this which spread the game throughout the world and made it so popular. Most famously, in 1910, they travelled to Brazil. And the locals in Sao Paulo were so impressed, they started their own team under the same name. Yes, the same Corinthians who won the FIFA Club World Cup in 2021, one of the biggest football teams in Brazil. Now, they were global superstars, and despite not being professional, Corinthians drew in the crowds. Everybody wanted to play them, everybody wanted to watch them. So much so, they regularly played the winners of the FA Cup in what eventually became the Community Shield, winning most of the time. They actually inflicted Manchester United's worst defeat, 11-3, a record which still stands to this day. Now, fast forward to today, Corinthian casuals still don't pay their staff or players. The ethos of sportsmanship is still at the heart of everything that they do. And even though they're a side in the lower leagues, if you make the trip to King George's Field in Tolworth just off the A3, you'll most likely bump into Brazilian Corinthians fans who often make the pilgrimage across the globe just to watch their founding team play.
And happy Halloween. Katie Shanahan here on Early Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. No tricks, just treats for your ears today, as I'll be here for the next hour before the fantastic breakfast show takes over at 6 o'clock with Jamie O'Hara this morning and Gabby O'Bonhall. What the boys don't know is I've got some pranks lined up for them this morning, so stay tuned and strap yourselves in from now until 6 o'clock, where we'll be having a spooktacular time on air, as well as looking ahead to an action-packed weekend of Premier League football, and of course it's the first round of the FA Cup as well. And of course you can get involved in the show this morning. We'd love to hear what you're getting up to on Halloween. Are you going to be sitting down and watching a horror show? What's potentially your favourite horror movie of all time? Give me a call, 03717 223344. You can text the show 81089. Nick's in the studio. What's coming up on the show?
Well, we'll start at the City Ground with Amorim and Dyche rating each other's tactics ahead of a big game tomorrow. We'll take a look at Frank Lampard's high-flying Coventry. Plus, we'll hear from Maro Itoje ahead of England's Test match versus the Wallabies. And on Halloween, we want to know, what's your favourite horror film? Suggestions, get them in. Number to call 03717 223344 or text 81089.
Right, thanks, Nick. Let's get into it. Now, if you are watching on YouTube or on your smart TV, you'll probably notice, right, they've suddenly turned into two little devils.
I'm not supporting Man United.
No, we're definitely not Red Devils. But do you like them? I got you these as a little gift.
I love them.
Are we going to wear them for the whole hour, these two little devil horns?
I don't know. I mean, I could do. There's a tail knocking about as well.
There is a tail.
Who do you think's going to have the most horrific weekend? I mean, is it going to be Liverpool or is it going to be West Ham?
West Ham, probably.
Wolves.
Well, Liverpool is whether they can pull it out the bag, but it's a big ask against Aston Villa, who are in fine form at the moment. I think West Ham, that's going to be a big ask as well. What do you think?
Home to Newcastle.
Home to Newcastle, 2 o'clock on Sunday.
Yeah.
Newcastle in good form as well, especially on the back of that good performance in the week. So, yeah, Liverpool, they need to turn things around, don't they? So,
well, I mean, it's an absolute mess at the moment. I mean, I know we sort of got a bit ahead of ourselves. We're talking about potentially crisis at Liverpool, blah, blah, blah. But now, 6 defeats in 7, isn't it? I mean, 4 in a row in the league. No, Liverpool haven't lost 5 in a row since 1953. If they do lose at home to Aston Villa, then they're staring down the barrel of, they've got Real Madrid next week and then Man City in the league. So, I mean, it could be a sort of horror fortnight for Arne Slot.
Yeah, now gone over a month without a Premier League win. I think we also can't underestimate, and I don't think it's been spoken about enough, is after what happened in the summer, how horrendous that must have been for all of the players to have lost a teammate, a really good friend in Diogo Jota, and how, they're still grieving the loss of their friend. And whenever it comes on, the fans cheer in the 20th minute, which obviously is brilliant. It's another reminder every single home game and during the other games that they've lost their friends. So I think, footballers are human beings at the end of the day. So I think we've also just got to maybe cut them some slack. I know that, they're going on a poor run and it's down to a number of players missing, all of these factors. But there is actually the human factor that they've lost their best friend and teammate Diogo Jota. And I think, we just need to factor that in as well and just, give them a bit of a break and allow them to grieve and a space.
Especially with Mo Salah. I mean, as I understand it, those two were quite close. Mo Salah's been a shadow of his former self, obviously, this season. So, I think, you make a very, very good point there. You got a favourite horror film? You're not really into horror films, are you?
I'm such a wuss.
Are you?
I am one of those people that if I watch a horror film, I will not sleep for the next 6 months. I'm okay with like gore and Saw and, movies like that. And actually, my favourite movie of all time is Gladiator, and there's quite a lot of gore in there.
Right, okay, but you don't like the sort of the horror aspect.
I don't like the psychological thrillers.
My favourite genre.
So I'm a total wuss, and then will not be able to sleep. So if I watch something in the cinema, for example, that's right. I can't sleep because I just think it's all so real. I'm probably too gullible.
No. I mean, that's what it's for. There's a great quote from Quentin Tarantino. So he's talking about horror being like the best of cinema because it's something that the medium of cinema can do better than any other art form. Whether it's paintings, whether it's poetry, whether it's whatever. Cinema and violence is there's no other medium that can do that. And I don't know. I just sort of feel alive when I watch.
Okay, what's your favourite horror film then?
I've got loads.
Okay.
Maybe The Shining is probably up there.
It's got to be up there.
That is one of my favourite films of all time.
Blair Witch Project, that's got to be in there as well.
Well, it's not my favourite, but it messed me up. I was only about 16 when it came out. I went to see it in the cinema and it just unsettled me for a few
Silence
days.
of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs is good. I mean, I would say Evil Dead. If you're looking for a bit of fun, 1985 Evil Dead. It is just like plasticine sort of special effect, but still quite unsettling. Real good sort of zombie. And it's only 80 minutes long, so it's just quick one.
Yeah. Okay. So keep those texts coming in at 81089 about what your favourite horror film is, and maybe I'll sit down. Maybe if you can convince me to watch a horror film that isn't going to ruin my sleep. Bearing in mind I barely get any sleep for the show anyway. Maybe convince me. 81089. You can give me a call. You can convince me over the phone. 03717223344. Let's get into the football, shall we? Thank Friday it's football and it's nearly the weekend. What is going to happen this time?
Never ever predict what happens in the Premier League.
It's amazing. It's Lyle Foster. It's Wolves 2, Burnley 3.
Chance of we are top of the league at a defiant Emirates Stadium.
We're in a really good position at the moment, but we know how early it is and how difficult every game is.
Yet another defeat for Liverpool. The drama fast becoming a crisis.
Comes from again, and he sweeps Aston Villa into a 2-0 lead.
Bournemouth 2, Nottingham Forest 0. Bournemouth are up to second in the Premier League and their brilliant start to the season continues.
Chelsea 1, Sunderland 2, Shamsteen Toby.
That top five at the moment is incredible, isn't it?
And above Liverpool. Finished here at Old Trafford. Manchester United 4, Brighton and Hove Albion 2.
West Ham, 9 games in, 4 points.
Chorus of boos around Molineux.
The picture will shift and change.
It's all go on talkSPORT all the time. Wherever there's football, we will be there.
We certainly will be. So much football to look forward to over the weekend. There's a very intriguing Old Firm game in the Scottish League Cup. 8 previous FA Cup winners are involved in the first round proper. The Championship is as crazy as ever. Can Arsenal extend their lead at the top of the Premier League? And guess who Adrian Durham and Alan Brazil think look most likely to challenge Arsenal this season?
Closest challengers to Arsenal this season I see as Manchester United. And nobody really...
I said that yesterday and people slaughtered me.
Yeah, but nobody can really see them winning the title. Having said that, I mean, the way they've been playing recently and getting results, maybe it has clicked and maybe they will provide a challenge. How incredible would it be if Man United actually went on to win the title.
That'd be amazing.
Blows my mind.
Well, yeah. Do you agree with those comments? Can Manchester United challenge Arsenal this season? You know, they're on a really good run at the moment, and they need just 2 more wins so that poor bloke Frank can get his haircut. Have you seen that? Gosh, it is getting so big. I don't know how he's managing to deal with that day to day. Well, Manchester United go to Sean Dyche's Nottingham Forest on Saturday, and Ruben Amorim responded to Dyche's recent comments as a pundit that United would win more games by playing 4-4-2. Listen to this.
First of all, maybe it's true. If we play in the 4-4-2, we won more games. But I always said that I have a way of playing that is going to take a while, and then in the future is going to be better. So we don't know that. Then I can look at Sean Dyche as a manager and then as a pundit. If you are a pundit and you don't say very strong things, I don't want to watch you. I'm the same with so I can understand that it's completely different job, and I know that Sean Dyche is really smart and he knows how to play the game, and he also understands that one thing is when we are seeing the game and talking about the game, other thing is to coach a team. So I understand that. I have nothing to say. I just want to win the next one.
Well, Manchester United are currently in 6th place, only a point outside the top 4 thanks to 3 back-to-back wins. And he's also said recently, it's always the same. When we win, it's not the system. When we lose, it's the system. And 3 wins later, the criticism has surprisingly gone quite quiet. And of course, Sean Dyche was asked about what he said previously about Amorim and Manchester United.
You know, it's unfortunate nowadays for us, whether you're a pundit or a manager, clickbait kills everything. You know, it changed the whole story. I'm sure the Man United have got a big enough press department to watch that whole interview, because I equally said I want managers to be given time. I don't like seeing managers coming out of situations because I've had it. I think everyone should know, and I'm sure people have told him, I have maximum respect for all managers, not just Premier League managers. I know managers from all across the football spectrum, and it's one of the hardest jobs probably in sport, or certainly I think so. And that's very in sports around the world. So I'm pretty sure that his media department will have made it clear to him. But at that point, don't forget as well, the points tally I was suggesting, maybe the basics would have worked better. That was my suggestion. And they have changed their style. So fair play to him, the management side of things, his coaching staff, the players. They have changed their style. Not necessarily his beliefs, but just their style. They are being a bit quicker to play forwards and play longer, a bit tighter and getting back into their shape and things like that. So that's management, that's coaching.
And as it's Halloween, we're going to be looking ahead to this game because Nuno Espirito Santo is hoping to avoid yet another Hammer horror show when his side go to Newcastle on Sunday. Only Wolves are doing worse than West Ham this season. And on White and Jordan, former Newcastle and West Ham boss Alan Pardew was asked what kind of state the Hammers are in right now.
According to the fans that I bump into around London, in a terrible place. I mean, when you look at the stats, their goal difference is -13, which is the worst in the division. That doesn't bode well. They didn't get the new manager bounce, which I think they was expecting. So there's a real problem over there. The fans are starting to get kind of unconnected with the board. I think the manager they're happy with. They're probably now looking at the board and the playing staff and saying, well, what are we going to do? And that is definitely where they are right now.
So, yeah, West Ham up against Newcastle on Sunday to try and see if they can just sort their fortunes around at the moment. So that's a really, really big game for them. We're also, as it's Halloween, on Sports Bar last night. This made me laugh. The boys were welcomed by Amanda Teague, a woman who married, get this, a 300-year-old ghost pirate. Yeah, you heard that right. And naturally, Cundy had a couple of questions.
Because Jack is a ghost, I mean, I don't know. You can't see him visually. Do you feel him visually, or certainly?
You feel the energy.
You feel the energy, but so if he was to disappear for like 24 hours, which can happen in any marriage, by the way.
Yeah. I mean,
were you
he's
thinking,
not there all the time, obviously. No. Yeah.
Was there any point you felt that he wasn't? I know you got divorced, right? We will go into that in a second, but
yeah,
do you think he cheated on you?
No, I don't actually.
Okay. Good.
No.
Good.
I wish he did, actually.
Yeah.
Can you feel him visually? That was very, very funny. Right, we've also been asking, that just made me laugh. We've had a lot of texts coming in about what your favourite horror show is, so I'm going to read a couple of these out. Also, one here from Craig in Windsor. Very good morning, Craig. A good friend of the show. Good morning, Katie. Finishing the night shift soon and looking forward to my weekend off with my lady and another win for Arsenal. Yeah, let's hope so. Very confident we'll beat Burnley and keep another clean sheet. And my favourite horror film is An American Werewolf in London, a classic. Yeah, we've also had this from Wardy, The Hills Have Eyes. That was the one that I did not get any sleep over. That is terrifying. And this from Chris in Nottingham. He goes, my favourite horror movie is Nottingham Forest Season this year. That's very cruel. Well, hopefully you can turn things around. And another one here, What Lies Beneath. Watched at age 12, didn't sleep for weeks. And you know what? I think I did the same, Wardy. So keep those texts coming in, 81089. Love to hear about all these horror films that you love. And maybe I'll watch one and get the courage to do that this weekend. Right, Katie Shanahan here with you this Friday morning on Early Sports Breakfast. Coming up, we'll be hearing from Maro Itoje ahead of England's test against the Wallabies. It's 5:16. A very good morning. How are you doing? Happy Halloween. Yes, it's the 31st of October and it's November tomorrow. Where is this year gone? Oh, my word. Katie Shanahan here with you until 6 o'clock with Early Sports Breakfast. The Breakfast Boys of Jamie O'Hara and Gabby Abonahour will be here with the Breakfast Show looking ahead to the Premier League. And it's the first round prop of the FA Cup this weekend. Coming up, we'll also be hearing from Mario Itoje ahead of England's autumn international against Australia tomorrow. But first, here are some of the headlines you're waking up to this Friday morning. Luke Littler has hit out at a darts players' championship event in a now deleted Instagram post. He said that he's really glad to hear that people have been let in almost half an hour late for a pro tour, but I can't be 2 minutes late. Says a lot. One rule for one, for another. That is from Littler. He was barred entry from the event in Wigan because he arrived late after being stuck in traffic. India pulled off a world record run chase to reach the Women's Cricket World Cup final and beat the holders Australia by 5 wickets. They'll now take on South Africa in a home final for the trophy on Sunday. And Kieran McKenna insists all his focus is on Ipswich Town rather than speculation linking him with the Celtic job. We understand he's one of the leading candidates to take over the club he supported as a boy.
I work as if I'm always going to be Ipswich manager. I know in reality I won't be. There'll be at some stage in the future that I won't be for whatever reason, but it never detracts from, every day trying to do the right thing for the long term of the club, and that's where my focus is. OK, now you can go to all the bigger stories on talksport.com. Now, moving on to a little bit of rugby union for you, because talkSPORT's Alfie Reynolds has spoken to Mario Itoje ahead of England's autumn international. That's against Australia tomorrow. Itoje was asked to compare the Wallabies now to the team the Lions beat over the summer.
They've definitely improved. They're a top team. They were a top team then, but now they definitely have shown progression. And if you just look at the quality of players they have, they've most certainly progressed.
And Alfie also asked if he's been giving any advice to Saracens' teammate Noah Kalori, the flying 19-year-old winger who's doing so well and has been called up following some incredible Prem performances.
I've given him some advice. I don't know if he's directly asked me for advice, but I've given it to him. But no, he's a good kid, and he will continue to get better.
And that stays behind closed doors, or can you give us a flavour of it?
Is not for the talkSPORT airwaves at this point in time.
I hosted an evening with Mario Itoje, and it was such a wonderful evening. A really, really insightful, clever, bright, and just genuine bloke. Really, really nice, and best of luck to them. So we'll be keeping across all the autumn internationals starting tomorrow. England face Australia before Scotland host the USA, and the New Zealand All Blacks go to Dublin to play Ireland tomorrow night. Right, it is 5:23 and it's time to have a look at the back pages, and Nick Ellaby is back in the studio, not talking about horror films. However, they are popping off the text, so keep those coming in, 81089.
So many texts coming in. There's one listener mentioned The Candyman, which I watched. So when I was a kid, I think I must have been about 12 or 13 when I got a TV in my room for the first time. And I used to stay up late and watch horror films by myself.
You naughty little thing.
Yeah. I mean, I remember The Craft. It's like Witches 90s film with, I think Neve Campbell's in it and a couple of other people. But the Candyman, the original one, there was a remake recently, but the original Candyman really put the willies up me when I was about 12. And then, have you seen it?
No.
Is this sort of hook-handed guy appears on this tenement council estate. If you look in the mirror and say Candyman, 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 Candyman 5 times, he appears behind you. And that really scared me when I was 12.
This is just not selling horror films to me, because I value my sleep.
It's exhilarating.
I know, but then it's the aftermath. I just can't sleep. Right, should we do back pages? Right, what's going on? Where do you want to start?
Well, you mentioned the Autumn International. So Steve Borthwick and the England rugby players have had a chat with Baz McCullum to try and get some of that Bazball ethos that the cricket team have kind of... Well, I mean, it's just, the jury's still out as to whether England's cricket has improved under Brendan McCullum, but the players seem to be having a good time. Steve Borthwick and Richard Wrigglesworth, the coaches at England Rugby, said we had a sit-down and a coffee in Manchester with Brendan McCullum and some of his coaching staff, asked him about how he changed mindsets in English cricket, because Brendan McCullum, sort of his MO is all about freeing players up mentally to be able to execute their skills. So England rugby fans are waiting for the Borthball era.
Borthball.
Looking forward to that?
Yeah, very much so.
quickly on the cricket, the salary pot for the 100 is set to double. That's after investment mostly from Indian and American
that's good.
franchise owners. Definitely good in terms of attracting big names for the 100 next summer.
It's been a success, wouldn't you say? 100?
Well, definitely for women's cricket and definitely for getting more kids going to watch it. When you go to 100 matches, it's full of families, full of kids, and it's been great for the women's game. In terms of men's cricket, I think there's still questions about the schedule, whether the blast could have been improved or not. But I think the ECB's decision to have that 100 competition has definitely been vindicated, because the amount of money that's been invested. The ECB's raised 550 million quid from the sales of those from those 100 sides, and it's going into county cricket. Will pretty set up county cricket for the next 10 years. So good decision. Whether it's actually improved domestic T20 cricket in this country, not exactly sure. And then as well as Nottingham Forest versus Man United on the back pages, Jason Wilcox, the Man United director of football, saying that Ruben Amorim must have a war chest to improve the squad. He must have money to spend on trophies. Jason Wilcox saying Man United have got to buy the right players who are talented but can also deal with the pressure, who can take the squad forward. It's not always just about signing elite talent. They have to have the right character. This is something, I support Southampton. It's been a huge thing for Southampton since Marcus Lieber took over the club. Sadly died, but, around 10 years ago, where they were looking at the psychological profile of players. Obviously, Man United doing a lot of that at the moment. Where do you think they need to strengthen? Or do you think, we had Adrian Durham talking about Man United potentially being title challengers already. How do you see them going this season?
Well, I think Manchester United, it's interesting because I think obviously they've gone 3 Premier League wins on the bounce, and Ruben Amorim saying that his formation is working.
Yeah.
So fair play to him. He's had a lot of noise to deal with. Gary Neville, I was reading and listening to his podcast, and he was saying that a lot of praise has to go on to the goalkeeper.
Lamans has looked good, hasn't he?
Looked really good, and he's just stabilised and is more solid and kind of trustworthy than the other 2 goalkeepers.
Well,
and he actually thinks that's been the secret ingredient. The fact that he's come in and probably just managed to settle things really well for Manchester United, which is a really, really difficult job. So fair play to him. And he's also credited Brian Mbuemo and Mateus Cunha having, a really, really good season. But a lot of credit he's put down to the goalkeeper as well.
Big game tomorrow. Just finally, have you seen the story about the West Ham situation? If they go down, so West Ham only pay £2.5 million a year rent for the London Stadium. In the contract, if they go down to the Championship, that rent goes to 1.25 million, and the taxpayer picks up the rest of it. That means mine and your taxes will be going to pay for West Ham's rent. 1.25 million a year we'll be paying if West Ham get relegated. So I'm now supporting Nuno's team to stay up.
Yeah. Come on, West Ham.
Because we could do with some extra cash in this country.
We're really good. Right, thank you, Nick. Katie Shanahan here with you this Friday morning. talkSPORT Breakfast is coming up at 6 o'clock with Jamie O'Hara and Gabby Abonahor. Up next, we'll be having some fun with the front pages and looking ahead to Liverpool's crunch game with Aston Villa. Good morning.
When Sir Jim Ratcliffe took control of footballing operations at United, the Manchester-born billionaire was somewhat welcomed in as a homegrown hero, ready to save the club from the dark days of the Glazers. But in just 12 months, he became a punchbag for many fans. So what happened? Well, let's take a look and you can decide for yourself. Over the last 3 years, the club lost 300 million quid, and Ratcliffe rightfully committed to sorting that. But what seemed to get fans' backs up is the way he went about it. For example, talkSPORT understands staff lunch options at the Carrington canteen have been reduced to just soup and sandwiches, which the higher-ups at the club say will save them 1 million quid a year. Now, that might make sense for many who don't get free meals at work themselves, but it does get a little bit more picky than that. It was reported that after staff brought some stationery, they were ordered to send sellotape back because it wasn't considered to be essential. And the reward for being Steward of the Week used to be 50 quid, but that was scrapped and replaced by a paper certificate. But it's not just seemingly stingy decisions. In 2024 alone, Ratcliffe oversaw 250 redundancies, and more were announced at the beginning of 2025. Now, while there are people who acknowledge United staff numbers are overinflated, it's the optics which aren't great. Add to the mix the introduction of a flat ticket price of 66 quid for every fan, even children, while Casemiro's on 350 grand a week, and the frustration of fans reached fever pitch. Time will tell whether Ratcliffe's cost-cutting measures will improve outcomes at the club, but one thing's for sure, there's a long way to go for United to be back where many say they belong.
A very good morning and a very happy Halloween. Yes, it's the 31st of October. November's tomorrow. Where is this year gone? Katie Shanahan here on Early Sports Breakfast. We've got lots of tricks and treats for you coming up over the next half an hour, but also part of the breakfast show because we're going to be having some fun with Jamie O'Hara and Gabby Abolahor, who'll be here at 6 o'clock, and I've got some pranks and games lined up for them this morning. Keep those texts coming in. Loads are flying in about what your favourite horror movie is. You can give me a call, 03717 223344. So we'll get to the phone lines very shortly, or you can give me a text, 81089. There are loads of horror movies coming in. I'm a total wuss when it comes to horror movies, but some of these are absolute gems. So we'll be going through those very, very shortly. But here are some more of the headlines you're waking up to this Friday morning. League One Luton will look to avoid an upset when they host non-league Forest Green in the first round of the FA Cup this evening. Yes, the FA Cup proper first round starts today. It's only the third ever meeting between the sides, with tonight's hosts having won both previous encounters. Paul Pogba could make his first appearance in over 2 years tomorrow. The former Man United midfielder could feature for Monaco against Paris FC in Ligue 1. And ahead of Joshua Buatsi and Zach Parker for the WBO light heavyweight title, live on talkSPORT tomorrow night, talkSPORT's Spencer Oliver says Buatsi needs a win to stay in the mix at the top of the division.
Oh no, the pressure towards a second defeat weighs heavily on his shoulders. Of course it does. Like, he needs the victory here, Joshua Buatsi, to keep his name in the mix. You know, look at Anthony Yard, who's boxing for the world title out in Saudi Arabia on November the 22nd against Benavidez, and you look at that and you go, you know, he's kicking on now. And Buatsi, if he wants to keep those world title dreams alive, he has to win here against Zach Parker. But it's a tough fight, a real 50-50, and the reasons being, we don't know what that last fight against Callum Smith took out of Joshua Buatsi. It was hard, it was grueling, and very character testing as well. And we will find out when he goes in here on Saturday night. It's a great fight.
Okay, so that is Buatsi against Zach Parker, is live for you on talkSPORT 2 tomorrow night from 7:30. And for more on this, all the day's biggest stories, you can go to talksport.com. Right, we are asking you what's your favourite horror film, and we have a caller called Simon who has phoned the show. And what is your favourite horror movie, Simon? A very good morning.
Hello, mate. How you doing? You all right?
I'm very good. I've been wearing these devil horns for the whole show. It was only meant to be for a little bit. So whenever I look down the line, I'm like,
I just woke up and needed the Carsey, and it was on. I thought, right, all right.
So, what's your favourite horror movie? Sell it to me.
Well, I'm a big fan of West Ham horror. Really.
Hey, very good. Love that.
So, West Ham versus Brentford was probably the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. You know, the devil plays out. But I think Evil Dead 2.
Okay.
Evil Dead 2 for me.
Why Evil Dead 2 rather than Evil Dead?
Well, the Evil Dead 1, they're both Mickey takes, but the Evil Dead 1, it got banned, so they did Evil Dead 2. So, and they made it a little bit more sort of like comedy, so it bridges the gap between horror and comedy. And Bruce Campbell chasing his own hand around the house with a shotgun, and then trapped under a bucket with "Farewell to Arms." He puts a book on it, and then like it's just quality. And I've got a tattoo of Bruce Campbell actually on my arm, and I've got a page from the Necronomicon Ex Mortis, the Book of the Dead. Almost. Like,
you've got a Bruce Campbell tattoo. That's commitment. Love that.
Yeah, I was a Wally when I was a student.
Talking of Wallies, I mean, you know, you're a West Ham fan at the moment. I mean, what's going on at the moment?
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to be watching through your fingers, you know, for these next couple of games? Can you turn things around?
I don't know. Me and my dad share a season ticket, and it's the only season we're both like, do you want to go this week? No, you're right, Dad. My arthritis is playing up, but it's not good. It's not good.
Well, hopefully things turn around, but I'm very impressed with the Bruce Campbell tattoo and Evil Dead 2. I haven't seen it, Simon, but you've sold it to me.
Evil Dead 2? Really?
No, I haven't. I'm going to give it a watch. I'm going to maybe give it a watch this weekend. You know,
it's quality. Okay. And if you want something really, actually, what really done me in when I was a kid, Salem's Lot.
Oh, yes, that's come through a number of times on the text. So I've got a list that I'm making. Simon, thank you so much for your call this morning. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much for calling the show. Right, we've got loads of other texts coming in, so I'll read those through very, very shortly. Liverpool are rocking right now, aren't they? And they have a huge game at home to Aston Villa tomorrow night. That's in the Premier League, and it's live for you on talkSPORT.
No title challenge for decades has withstood a run of 4 successive Premier League defeats.
Doing loads of business and it's all over the place. It feels like you're spinning plates with everything, every position.
He's moaning about the squad here now that he hasn't got the strength and depth. Well, that's his fault by spending all that money on.
The drama fast becoming a crisis. Liverpool 0, Palace 3.
They're defending their title. This has been a poor defence.
First of all, we need to be ready for Aston Villa.
And Aston Villa have beaten Manchester City at Villa Park.
The players, they are mature. And they are showing their responsibility as well.
And then win 4 on the bounce.
You know, everyone around the club worked for Unai Emery, even the sporting directors above him.
Is the end of the crisis in sight? Villa at home here on Saturday is now a game of epic proportion.
Yeah, Liverpool 4 consecutive Premier League losses. They have now gone over a month without a Premier League victory. As for Aston Villa, flying at the moment, they've won their last 4 Premier League wins in a row. Liverpool haven't lost 5 in a row in the league since, get this, 1953. The teams are level on 15 points. And former Liverpool midfielder Danny Murphy spoke to Drive and said that Arne Slot's recent comments about his squad suggest he doesn't have much say over transfers.
I suppose the question it brings up or presents to me is that how big a say is he having on the personnel coming in? Because it sounds a little bit when he's talking about it like the balance, the numbers in the squad don't suit him. So you know the way it works at Liverpool with the way it sets up there with the transfers. I'm sure he has a say in some capacity, but I'm not sure how big a say. So maybe he'd have wanted to distribute that money more widely across the squad in different areas. That's what I'm hearing from that.
When you say that, are you alluding to after Ekitike came in?
and they were then going for Isak. Are you alluding to the fact
that
he probably wouldn't have wanted to spend that much on a striker?
On two.
Yeah, having already bought one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think whether it's team selection, whether it's people missing, whether they're missing Trent or various players being out of form, Mo Salah and others, McAllister and new players, Isak not being not fitting in, Wirtz not kind of playing up to the fore. You've also got to speak about what Neil has also just picked up on what we were speaking about at the top of the programme, about, you know, how the loss of Diogo Jota must be playing into the players' minds and just been carrying on over these last few months. And I don't think we can underestimate how tough that has been for the players. So if there is a dip in form, I think, you know, they're human beings, they're footballers, and we've got to allow them to grieve. And Neil said this morning, thanks for saying that, Katie. I wish more people would on talkSPORT mention it. I think our fans... unending tributes to Jota are well-intentioned but misguided. If, you know, for example, if you knew someone who lost their best mate 4 months ago and you had met but didn't actually know them, would you keep bringing up their names, the first topic of conversation week after next? It's got to be painful and distracting to them. That's an interesting text there. Neil, very good morning, Neil, as well. We're also asking for a number of your texts this morning that are coming in, 81089, about what your favourite horror film is. We're just speaking to Simon, the West Ham fan there, who mentioned Salem's Lot, and that's also what Craig in Loughborough said. Yeah, Salem's Lot always terrified me as a kid. The children floating outside the window gave me nightmares for months. Also this one made me laugh. Dan, this is very funny. The original Exorcist was the worst. I never watched it all the way through, but my bulldog, called Dave, was barking at the TV the whole time I had the film on, and I switched off after 45 minutes because he didn't like it. I mean, if Dave the bulldog didn't like a horror film, I would never have liked it. Nick, you are back for a bit of this.
It's a front page throwdown.
Oh, what a move!
The front page is first on the early sports breakfast.
talkSPORT. Got another horror film for you.
Here we go.
House of 1,000 Corpses.
Oh, yes.
The director is Rob Zombie. He used to be in a heavy metal band called White Zombie. It's pretty full on, but it's kind of an homage to those 70s kind of like, you know, young Americans lost in the middle of nowhere in the US, and then they break down and they stumble across this crazy family that live in the middle of nowhere. They turn out to be pretty unpleasant individuals, but it's a roller coaster of a film. I recommend it. Yeah.
There's a lot of horror films that are coming through, and also making me realise how many I've actually watched, even if I am a total worst. Also, Darren here has said, "Morning, Katie. Love you too, Darren. Thank you very much. Halloween is the day after my birthday, but agree with you about horror movies. My favourite Halloween movie is the original Ghostbusters or Beetlejuice.
Yeah, Ghostbusters.
Yeah. So we've got some bit more PG ones. And then apparently, Japanese. Someone said here, Stephen, try the Japanese movie Audition. Very creepy and scary. See, that would be...
Audition.
Japanese horror films going to be awful.
Terrifying.
Terrifying.
Audition is one of the most horrific films I've ever seen. It's good if you like that kind of thing.
Right.
But it's like, don't watch it if you're squeamish. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. So, front pages, what have you got for me?
Well... First of all, omelettes, smashing avocados, eggs, tops, as Brits shun Gen Z brekkie. So omelettes are enjoying a cracking revival as young Brits insist the eggy munch is their brekkie of choice. Can you make a good omelette?
I can, yes.
You into avocados?
Love avocados, and I do smash them and put them all over the protein bagels. Yeah, I'm one of those.
Very woke of you.
Well, I mean, it's actually just a good diet because I need a lot of protein in the morning.
You are right. More than 2/3 of 18 to 29-year-olds are scrambling to master the perfect omelette after watching an influencer or chef make one. What's your top omelette?
I like ham, tomato, onion.
I find tomatoes too wet for an omelette.
No, but you need a bit of, I don't know, maybe it's just the colour. I just need a bit more colour in my omelette.
You're right. Let the Spanish do a good job of it. Maybe my cooking skills are not up to scratch. Roy Keane, king of no frills. Roy Keane has been crowned the king of no-nonsense football. The Man United legend and TV pundit bagged nearly a quarter of the vote, 24%. Second place, Vinnie Jones. Third place, Graham Souness.
In good company, then.
Do you have a favourite no-nonsense footballer?
Well, I think Roy Keane's got to be up there, hasn't he? You know, he's always
100%.
he's always brilliant with the quotes and also got a great sense of humour.
Used to enjoy Lee Cattermole's performances for Sunderland. Didn't mess around, that guy.
What else we got?
Earth is a prison planet and humans are aliens. This has come from Boffins.
Every week, Nick, you come with me with an alien story.
I love alien stories.
And you love boffins.
Yeah, used by... so this guy's a ufologist is claiming that the Earth is being used by ETs as soul containers. Mark Christopher Lee says the Anunnaki genetically engineered us to serve as their soul slaves. The filmmaker said we've been introduced to the planet, something manipulated our DNA. Have you ever seen any weird lights in the sky? You ever noticed any aliens?
No, I've seen the Northern Lights, though. I don't think those are aliens.
Where did you see that?
I actually saw those in the Arctic Circle. So I went on a dog sledding charity expedition through the Arctic Circle. I had 4 little dogs for a week, and off we went around. It was in the northern tip of Norway, and then we saw this, like, the Northern Lights start off, and if anyone else has seen them, you will know it kind of starts off as what looks like an earthworm, and you're like, what is that massive kind of grey cloud across the sky, and then it starts to move, and then you're like, okay, here we go.
Did you see quite a lot? So I managed to see them in Iceland. Beautiful, but it's like, it's weird because you get a better picture on your camera or your phone than you can actually see with your eyes. Did you have the same sort of thing?
No.
I
saw them pretty well, but it was quite a clear night, so I think it's all down to cloud cover and stuff like that. Nick, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Right. It is 5:47. Keep those texts coming in, 8 to 10 89, about your favourite horror film, because it is Halloween today and we're celebrating that. Coming up next, we'll be looking ahead to Coventry's trip to Wrexham. It's 5:48. Katie Shanahan here on talkSPORT with Early Sports Breakfast. The production crew love this song and are going nuts behind the glass. Very good. Jamie O'Hara and Gabby Bonlahor will be here in 8 minutes' time with talkSPORT Breakfast. It's 5:52 and it is competition time. It's our biggest competition yet and time is running out. There's less than 1 week to go until lines close for your chance to play to win up to £100,000. Yes, £100,000. That's completely tax-free as well. If you're the lucky winner getting the call next Thursday, you'll be heading to talkSPORT Towers on Thursday, the 13th of November, to play for that life-changing cash prize. Here's how to enter, and a very good luck.
18 plus, UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text the word cash to 83338 and you're in the draw. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission, or you can enter for free by calling 0330 880 3338. All entries must be received by the 6th of November at 4 p.m. This is a talkSPORT limited promotion run on talkSPORT, Talk and Virgin Radio UK stations. Full terms and conditions at talksport.com.
Okay, good luck, everyone. Right, tonight on talkSPORT, Frankie Lampard goes to Hollywood. Wrexham host Championship table toppers Coventry, who haven't lost yet and have a goal difference of plus 25 in 12 games. Very impressive indeed. I've seen them a lot this season, and Frank Lampard is doing a brilliant job. Well, he explains how his team have scored so many goals.
If you look at a lot of our goals will come off good defending and pressing and winning the ball back and being fast about how we counter attack as well. So I think it has to be very well rounded to specifically look at attacking the players at the top end of the pitch. Yes, they're being clinical at the right times. That's from the work that they're doing and their own talent. But yeah, can we find different ways to score goals, whether it's pressing to win the ball back, whether it's build to get the ball wide. We try and find many ways to try and score if we can. And so far we've been doing that, but we need to continue doing that, because the minute the work stops in the team structure, I think you find those things hard to do. So we'll keep trying to work collectively, and if the boys up the top can keep their form, if people can keep chipping in that they have been from different positions, then obviously that's good for us.
As for the opposition manager, Phil Parkinson, well, he could be under a bit of pressure with Wrexham in 16th with just 14 points from 12 games since promotion. But their form has picked up with a win against Oxford and a draw with second-place Middlesbrough before being knocked out of the League Cup by Cardiff City on Tuesday. And Parkinson says Wrexham have already shown they can compete with top teams at this level.
We spoke about that a lot to the lads, that we fully respect Coventry, but we're not going to fear them. Yeah, they've had a very good start, but we've got to go there and believe ourselves, like we've done a lot of times already this season.
Well, Wrexham against Coventry is live for you on talkSPORT 2 tonight from 7. So thanks so much for all of your texts this morning. They've really cheered me up. We've had so many texts about what your favourite horror show is. This from Neil and Warrington. I once saw The Shining at an outdoor cinema in a cemetery in Hollywood. Wow. It was projected onto the side of a huge museum. Very eerie and very memorable. That's from Neil. Thank you very much. This is also from Ollie in Norwich. Morning all. Let Me In is a great horror film. Really original story and great performances from the lead actors. It's a remake of Let the Right One In, Swedish. Now, Sweden do great movies. I've seen many of those and very, very good indeed. This is from CJ from Birtwood. Good morning, CJ. Saying Nightmare on Elm Street. Always used to frighten the hell out of me as long as a kid, especially with the dolls. Oh, yeah, dolls are terrifying, aren't they? We've also got one here saying, this is from Simon Harris. Good morning, Simon, in Crawley Down, saying, I watched The Deliverance on Netflix last night, which was pretty freaky. Not to be confused with Deliverance, which is the single most disturbing film I've ever seen. Watch if you wish to be traumatised anytime you go on a bit of an outdoorsy adventure for the rest of your life. Okay, well, I don't think I'll be doing that anytime soon, because I'm a complete wuss when it comes to horror films. But I think my favourite text of the morning has to go to Dan, who said, the original Exorcist was the worst. I never watched it all the way through. My bulldog, called Dave, was barking at the TV the whole time I had the film on, and I had to switch it off after 45 minutes because he didn't like it. Oh, poor Dave the bulldog. He goes, that's my excuse anyway. Thanks for all those texts coming in. Here's what's coming up on Breakfast this morning. Former Wolves midfielder Dave Edwards will discuss Victor Pereira's crunch game at Fulham tomorrow. Jason Cundy will be on to preview Spurs against Chelsea tomorrow evening. And former Traitors star Liverpool fan Paul Gorton will tell us what it's like in the Traitor's Castle. You've been listening to Early Sports Breakfast with me, Katie Shanahan. Thank you very much for listening and have a great weekend.